Gaming Geek here with a review of Crippled God Foundry's May 2021 Patreon STL files. Before we get into that, I want to share about the GGGG. Every month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive a gratitude gift. And for this month, May of 2021, we have so many, I can't even list it right now. But go ahead and click on my Patreon link in the descriptions below, and you can see a list of the growing number of things that Patreon supporters are going to be able to receive. Included in this month's GGGG is all of the STL files from this month from Crippled God Foundry. So last fall, Crippled God Foundry did a Kickstarter and I did a review video for Shattered Hell. If you want to check that out, go ahead and click here. But they sent me this set from their current Patreon STL files that are available for this month. So this isn't a Kickstarter, but is actually files that they release for their Patreon supporters. So these are going to be accessible, and typically I've noticed that their files are made available on my mini factory after it is given to Patreon supporters. In this video, I'm going to do an unboxing and show you a little bit more details for each of the miniatures that I received. We're going to go ahead and jump on the computer and I'll guide you through just their Patreon page, and you can see all of the options that are there. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to paint, so I had to get this video out quickly, and I don't have a painting tutorial at the end of this video, which I usually like to have. But these miniatures are awesome, and I'm going to share with you my intention of using these minis over the ones that actually came in this game that recently delivered, Destinies. I am hoping to get a review video of this out in a couple of weeks, but these miniatures work awesome for that game. So let's go ahead and dive into the unboxing. So let's go ahead and open this up, as they were kind enough to ship this to me. And again, you can have access to all of the STL files if you become a Patreon supporter, and each month they release new files. So here, this is information about them as a company. And if I remember correctly, this company is in Greece. We can pull out some of these just to see. So most of the files for May is predominantly some townsfolk and towns guards, which is something that I've been looking for. And my plan is actually to use these miniatures to proxy in for the ones that come with Destinies that just delivered. Now the Destinies miniatures are super tiny because they're 15mm and they're fine, but I prefer to use these larger miniatures. I haven't played the game yet, so I'm not sure how easy it is to use these larger miniatures. But because a lot of the miniatures that come in Destinies are these sort of common townsfolk or soldiers in armor, I think these are going to work out fantastic for that. So sorry, in this video I'm not going to be able to show you the painted versions, but this will definitely work out well. So this is the female version, and the details on these resin, I think that these are resin cast. I don't think these are resin prints. And I know that you are able to purchase these resin cast miniatures from them directly. Yeah, I'm not seeing any print line, so I'm pretty sure that these are resin cast. And even down here, this is evidence that this base was actually cast. I'm going to go ahead and glue these and maybe even prime them, and that way you can see more detail later. So here's a merchant. Yeah, see, these are going to be perfect, I think, for Destinies. So again, just like their Shattered Hell miniatures that I reviewed, tons of detail. These are going to be fantastic to paint up. You know, look at that. See, these are perfect. I'm so happy. Nice. Look, here's a preacher with the Bible and what looks like either a holy symbol or a mace. That looks awesome. Then in here is a dog. I mean, look at the detail on that. Even the coat that he has. So That is excellent. Oh yeah, look at these guys. These guys look more mechanical. Could potentially be robots or cyborgs. Not sure. I mean, they could definitely be sort of a steampunk version of armor. I mean, a person could be in there. Doesn't have to be an automaton. That looks awesome. And then look at that guy. I mean, these guys look so cool. Tons of detail on them. And links in the descriptions below to their website if you want to check that out. More guardsmen. Female guardsman. I think his pole down here broke in transit right here. But I'll be able to glue that on. Well, you know what? I think this is the prisoner cart. So let's take a look at one of these horses. Just for the detail. Wait, maybe these are printed. You know what? I think they are resin printed because I see support spots on them. Wow, so, and I see a little bit of lines on here. So, wow, I am impressed with these prints. These are really good. I totally thought these were cast, resin cast, but instead these are actually printed. So yeah, you're gonna get this level of detail on your prints as well. So look how good that looks. Yes, this is the prison cart. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I've never printed out something big like this on my resin printer, and my resin printer honestly is a little bit on the fritz, and that's why they sent me these to review, because their printer is much better than mine. And look at that, that just is so cool. I wonder they must have printed this door right on there. That's amazing. That's just amazing. Looks so good. And then these, having these seated guys as guards, look at that. That is fantastic. Man, I think that's it. So I am going to go ahead, actually glue all these pieces together. Okay, so I didn't actually prime them like I said I was gonna, but instead what I want to show you is basically how these models will work as proxies for the game that I received, Destinies. And here I did pull out some of the 15mm models, so let me just show you the difference between these two. So for example, you know, I would use this model over this female knight, and you just can see a lot more details obviously with this one. And here are sort of the map tiles. As you can see here, you know, using these larger scale miniatures actually works fine on these tiles. So I don't really see a downside in using these larger ones. And I think these ones are actually fine, but definitely I'm going to be using these instead. And this base set actually works well with all of these different characters that you can play. And you know, even the soldier, you could use any of these ones. Even the helmet is really similar to this character. See, so you can even use the one with the dog here if you wanted. But that looks pretty cool and would work for any soldier. And there's NPCs as well that appear. But all of these different heroes, I think using these alternative models is going to work out really well, because look how distinct these guys are. Here's, you can use this guy as the merchant, and that would work out fine. And even here, that guy looks really cool. So I think this has come sort of just in time, as I'm going to be playing Destinies and possibly be posting a video about that later. But looking forward to using these miniatures instead. And then check out this prisoner's cart. Looking forward to painting this. I did 3D print out this base. just because it would be a pain just to, when I'm wanting to move or field this cart, it's just easier to keep everything together. So I didn't glue it down because I need to prime everything first, paint, before I glue it down to the base. And I need to put basing material there as well. But just looks incredible. I love this set here. There's so many scenarios, especially with D&D, where I've needed a cart, and this is just going to work out great. It's very versatile. Also, I'm glad to see that there is this little demon guy, and I'm going to use this from the Shattered Hell Kickstarter that again is from my previous video, and I think this just has a lot more presence on the board than this dinky little guy here. So definitely going to be proxying in these miniatures from Crippled God Foundry. So that's going to be awesome. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the computer. I can walk you through just their Patreon page and some of the options that you have there. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the Patreon page from Crippled God Foundry. And here you have a couple of different membership levels from $10 a month to $13. I think $13 gives you a 10% discount on the physical products that you can buy. So it isn't just STL files that are available to you, but if you want pre-printed copies or cast copies, you can actually buy them on their eShop. So this is giving you a 10% discount. With the lower tier, you still get the 40% discount on My Mini Factory for any of their previous models. So that's a pretty good deal for a relatively good price. And then this higher level tier is for those that are wanting to print out and sell. It's giving you a merchant license. So let's check out what is involved in this set for May. And as you can see, it has a lot of the ones that we saw. They sent me most of these figures, but I did not receive this lieutenant here, nor did I receive this building. So part of their monthly releases, I think, does include buildings. And this just gives you the details for each of the miniatures. And as you can see, the actual prints that came out are pretty close to these renders. And also the benefit of becoming a patron is that you will have access to the welcome pack too. So you're going to get all of these creatures, and look at that beholder right there. I'm sure they're not allowed to call it a beholder, and I think that's an owl bear. And then you get all of these different bases as STL files. So welcome pack looks awesome. That dragon is really cool. So a pretty good deal just for $10, being able to receive all of this. Oh yeah, see, they had to call it Qualadron the Everwatcher because Beholder is trademarked by Wizards of the Coast. So let's go ahead and check out their Facebook page. And again, I have links to all of these pages in the descriptions below. And you can go here if you want to message them or you have any questions. Looks like there's painting tutorials here. You get ideas of how others have painted up their miniatures. So this is a good spot to be able to just get more news about what is happening. And then this is their website. This is where you can order physical prints of all of their miniatures. So if you don't have a resin printer or a 3D printer, then you can buy or purchase these miniatures directly from them. So these are all of the physical ones that you can order. Which is most of the ones that they have available. If you go over to My Mini Factory, see that they have a page here where, again, this is to download the STL files, and some of these are their previous Kickstarters that are now made available. So make sure you peruse these pages and see if you have any miniatures. Again, all Patreon backers will have at least a 40% discount on these STL files that are here. So that's a pretty good deal. So there you have it. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. If so, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Again, go check out my Patreon page to get in on the GGGG for this month. Otherwise, happy gaming, happy painting, and we'll see you next time.